Ben Shapiro basically is going to determine the validity of E. Jean Carroll's claim that she was raped and sexually assaulted by Donald Trump, and defamed for that matter, because he's such a wise jurist, I guess. But before he does that, let's put up this tweet. I think you guys spoke about it yesterday, but I just want to reiterate, when I call Ben Shapiro the self-appointed Pope of the Jews, this is what I mean. Here he is. Bernie Sanders is, what is it? I can't.
Bernie Sanders is approximately as Jewish as a ham sandwich topped with shrimp on lard bread. That's a quote tweet of Arsen Ostrovsky saying, hardly surprising after speaking McCarthy canceled Rashida Tlaib's Nakba Day event in the House. Bernie Sanders comes to the rescue and hosts her in the Senate. And this is his comment. And this is as hashtag Israel under fire comes from Islamic Jihad rocket bombardment. Sanders is a disgrace and a Jew-hating enabler.
I mean, aside from the fact that there is this hostility to recognizing the tragedy that befell the Palestinian people when they were when they were driven out of their homes, the founding of Israel, it's pretty amazing to me that even supporters of Israel cannot bring themselves to acknowledge that this was a tragedy for Palestinians. I mean, we're able in this country to acknowledge the genocide that took place in terms of Native Americans when America was colonized. And it simply is a fact. I mean, these thousands of people were dispossessed of their homes, of land that they have lived on or their parents had lived on for generations. That's simply a fact. But then the idea that because Bernie Sanders takes a position that Ben Shapiro doesn't like, that Ben Shapiro is in a position of assessing his or anyone else's Jewish quotient. This guy is a fascist. I mean, yep. He is a fundamentalist who is making these determinations based upon nothing. We don't have a pope in Judaism. We don't have a catechism, as it were. He doesn't get to decide. But here he is also using that same, and even the rabbis, frankly, don't get to decide who's a Jew.
Steve King isn't a racist, and Bernie Sanders isn't a Jew.
And here is Ben Shapiro applying that same sort of like Pope-like wisdom to the idea as to whether someone has actually been sexually assaulted or not.
It seems to me it is on the floor with the evening gowns and bathing suits, and when the man and I arrive, and my memory is now vivid. Now it's vivid. No one is present. There are 2 or 3 dainty boxes and a lacy see-through bodysuit of lilac gray on the counter. The man snatches up the bodysuit and says, "Go try this on." "You try it on," I say, laughing. "It's your color." "Try it on. Come on," he says, throwing it at me. "It goes with your eyes," I say, laughing and throwing it back. "You're in good shape," he says, holding the filmy thing up against me. "I want to see how this looks." "But it's your size," I say, laughing and trying to slap him back with one of the boxes on the counter. "Come on," he says, taking my arm. "Let's put this on."
Pause.
This
Let's just be clear here. This is E. Jean Carroll's testimony. I don't know if this was her testimony in court or deposition, but this is her explaining what happened in Bergdorf Goodman, in the lead up to Trump's assault of her.
It seems to me it is on the floor with the evening gowns and bathing suits, and when the man and I arrive, and my memory is now vivid. Now it's vivid. No one is present. There are 2 or 3 dainty boxes and a lacy see-through bodysuit of lilac gray on the counter. The man snatches up the bodysuit and says, "Go try this on." "You try it on," I say, laughing. "It's your color." "Try it on. Come on," he says, throwing it at me. "It goes with your eyes," I say, laughing and throwing it back. "You're in good shape," he says, holding the filmy thing up against me. "I want to see how this looks." "But it's your size," I say, laughing and trying to slap him back with one of the boxes on the counter. "Come on," he says, taking my arm. "Let's put this on." This is going to be hilarious, I'm saying to myself, and as I write this, I am staggered by my stupidity. Well, I mean, yes. Yes, no one is responsible for their own rape. Also, going with men that you don't know to a lingerie section and trying on lingerie for those men, that's a little flirtatious. And that doesn't mean that he raped.
Pause it. And we'll go back here because this is, he really planned this out. Because you'll notice that he says no one is responsible for their own rape. And what he's saying, but instead of using but, he says also.
Also.
I want you to notice that. Not also. Also is a term that you would use that would reiterate the point that happened before it, or it would naturally accrue. This and also that. I'm enumerating the different things on the table. Oh, these are the things I want to do today. I want to walk to the park. Also, I want to go to the cleaners. He specifically avoids using but make no mistake, this is a but statement that he's making. And he keeps going back and forth. That's pretty flirtatious. Not that that's a justification for rape. Here, continue. Just go back.
Myself, and as I write this, I am staggered by my stupidity. Well, yes. Yes, no one is responsible for their own rape. Also, going with men that you don't know to a lingerie section and trying on lingerie for those men, that's a little flirtatious. And that doesn't mean that he raped, that she wasn't raped, doesn't mean he was justified in raping her. But this is not like smart behavior, you would say.
Well, she just said that she wasn't smart by getting involved in anything with him. But what is Ben Shapiro bringing up? His assessment that her behavior was flirtatious. What are the implications of that?
Yeah.
Are they any different than if her behavior was not flirtatious? What if her behavior was, I don't know, catty, or maybe even a little bit like hostile?
Aloof.
Would that make a difference? You see what he's trying to do here, right? He's trying to say there's no excuse for raping people. However, but
also
there's a couple of excuses. In Ben Shapiro's world, you're in this, religious fundamentalist world that he lives in. Women aren't supposed to do anything that is in any way flirtatious, because that is an open invitation. You have now given your consent for whatever the man wants to do. That's what he's arguing here. He's dancing around this. But that's what the argument is. Either there's no justification for rape, or there is. And there's no middle ground. I'm just raising the fact that this was flirtatious. So what if it was harried? What if she was in a rush? What if she was, again, this is precocious behavior. Does that?
Yeah.
Why are you raising that?
Flirtation happens for all sorts of reasons. Some is a genuine interest sexually. Others is oh, this is a very powerful guy in my presence. Maybe I'm going to respond in a way that tries to smooth this in until it's over. I don't know. It's ridiculous to even bring that into the conversation.
But even if she did have some interest in the guy,
You're right.
That's not a license.
It's not consent
for him to rape her, attempt to rape her, sexually abuse her in a dressing room. I'm sorry. It's not. And that line's just not clear for,
And how do you hear that testimony he read, which is and that, oh, she's being flirty, and not oh, she's trying to give him this man hints that she doesn't want to continue down this line. Oh, it's your size. That's flirty, but it's also a hint that she doesn't want to try on the thing.
Yeah. But again, even if she did want to try on the thing, there's just no license for this. But, understand, in Ben Shapiro's world, it's fundamentally rooted in, it's fundamentalism. And the way that fundamentalism, the way that it's imposed upon the rest of us is through essentially the patriarchy and everything associated with that and everything that emanates from that. Patriarchy is a function of religious fundamentalism. And those people who are also, trying to protect religious fundamentalism, one of the ways that they attempt to maintain the existence of fundamental religion is to impose the patriarchy and to apply that. And so, women shows a little bit, this is progress for these religious fundamentalists. Used to be, there's no question. Of course, he has the right to sexually. It's not assault. Of course, he has the right. He's the man. But in this instance, it's progress for him. But she was a little bit flirtatious. Had she not been flirtatious, then there would have been no question. It's gross.